Hey there, it's Paul Anthony here from EMP DJ, and in this video I'm going to give you a guided tour of the EMP application and run over some of the key features and find out if it's right for you and your DJ business. And if you do decide to make up a trial, you can go and click Get Started and get a 14-day free trial. With all DJs that take up the trial, I do encourage you to make an appointment with me for a demo call, just so I can show you some of the features in person and answer some of your specific questions and see if EMP is right for you. So let's get stuck right into it, and we're going to start with going over the dashboard. Now, obviously, when you first log in, the first thing you're going to see is the dashboard here, and we have quite a lot of things going on. First of all, we have upcoming events over to the left here, and this is going to show all your upcoming events in the coming month, as many can fit on the page. Now, from here, it's really cool because you can actually click any of the events, and it's going to open that into a new tab, so you can specifically do some work on that event. Up here we have some widgets here, so we have like total amount of inquiries coming this month so far, how many sales were made, what's the conversion rate, and not from those sales only, but all the total number of sales in this date period this month that is shown over here. What we have in the middle here is like an activity feed, and this is kind of like your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed, where you can see things happening as they're happening in order of time, right? So I can see from here, that I've got an inquiry that's come in at this time, and I can see when DJs have logged in or logged out, or customers. And I can see when booking forms are being completed, payments have been received. Everything that happens shows up on the wall right here. Over to the right we have a follow-up section, and this is kind of like a to-do list. So essentially every event that comes into the EMP application, when it first comes in as a fresh inquiry, it's going to be set with a follow-up date, and that date will be today. Now after you ring up that customer, let's say you speak to them but they're not quite ready to book yet, they might tell you to follow up next week. What you do is you set the follow-up date for next week, and then that event will disappear from your follow-ups and it will reappear next week on that day that you set. So this follow-up system is going to help you stay organized, going to help you follow up inquiries really quickly, and it's going to help you close a lot of inquiries, but it's also good for managing your booked clients as well. So obviously when people book, they still go into the following steps of the follow-ups, and if they have a follow-up date, then they're going to show up on the list. So I'll show you that a little bit more in a moment, but let's continue down on the dashboard. So we come down here, we have a little marketing pie chart, just to give you an idea of where your inquiries coming from. You can click here and it's going to show me some of the cancel reasons. So when people cancel, I normally put the reason in, and then it's going to start to show you those reasons on the dashboard here. Here we have recent keywords. Now this is coming from the inquiry form, so we actually just ask people what keyword did you type to find us, and most of the time they're kind enough to let us know, and that's what this is. It shows us all the reasons. Now you can actually click one of these keywords and it should open that keyword up into Google for you, so you can kind of check the ranking and see where you actually are for that keyword, which is pretty cool. So further down we have a nice bar chart showing you revenue minus DJ pays. So over time you can see each month how much revenue is coming in and pays, and then the purple chart here is showing you the sales made in these months. Now in real time you can go back and look at previous data and sort of analyze how much money you made in the past and how much you should expect to be making in the future. And of course it actually is showing future sales, so they will start to show up as they come in. Over here, this is really not the dollar amount of sales and inquiries, but it's actually just the number amount. So 10 inquiries or 20 inquiries or whatever it is, 48 inquiries in March. Down here on the dashboard, this is really for the event manager of the business, so they can see, okay, how much money is owing to DJs or performers, photographers, could be anyone that's working on an event. How much money is owed from previous events that are still owing. How much money is owed for the coming week of events that are still to collect, and the total of them two together, so that we can kind of get an idea of our cash flow. So I know that I've got $1,000 to collect, and that's going to help go towards this $750 of pays, for example. Further down we have an event list. Now we have another screen dedicated to the event list, but on the dashboard event list we're going to see by default our booked events. So all booked events showing up in order of date are going to show up right here, and these are the same events that we can see on the calendar down here. That's pretty much the dashboard. You know, on the calendar we can click a date, it's going to show me all the other events on that date. I can click any of these events, it's going to open up that event in the next window. So it's very easy to navigate and find events, whether it's booked or even if it's not booked, to find events and follow up things that need to be followed up. Before we go on to the next thing, I'll just quickly show you up here we have some notifications. So once again, this is going to show us when, you know, people, customers, DJs, anyone logs in or out, inquiries coming in, sales being made, booking forms and contracts being processed, and feedback forms being submitted. So everything is very transparent. We can see all the information here in real time as it happens. So what's going to happen with EMP is there's a lot of email templates, and so what happens is someone's going to come to your website, complete the inquiry form, and they're going to get an automatic quote, and that's going to be based on event type and location. So it could just be you know, you have a different price for birthdays and a different price for kids parties and different price for weddings, and that can be set up in the settings. But essentially we're going to have this inquiry form over here, and this inquiry form is what you're going to embed to your website. And with all these settings, you can totally change the design of the inquiry form, the shape of the buttons, the height of these fields, the many different fonts to choose from, and really to make it gel with the design of your website. And once you've worked that out and decide what fields you want to show, what you don't want to show, which is on step 1, what's on step 2, you're going to click Get Embed Code, and then you'll be able to paste that straight into your website, and it's going to put the inquiry form there. But if I just fill in the first step, for example, here, we're going to see that we have a nice, beautiful looking 2-step inquiry form that can be embedded to your website. You don't have to ask so many details here. Like you can see, I'm asking for quite a lot of things, like the venue name and address and all that. You can hide whatever you want to hide or show whatever you want to show, unless it's a core piece of information that we need. For example, the customer's email. Like we need an email to send the information, right? So that's something that you can't hide. So anyway, that goes onto your website, and the customer completes this inquiry form. So let's go and check out my website, for example. I'll go to my DJ website, and people are going to come here. They're going to, you know, have a read around my website, of course, and then they're going to click Get a Quote. They click Get a Quote, and this is where they come to the inquiry form. So we've got the inquiry form here, and as it was before, like I showed you this already, they fill this in. It's going to send them an automatic quote, right? Sends them an automatic quote. They go onto your call list, and they're going to, you know, show up as a notification up here. But they're also going to show up in your follow-ups on the dashboard into the new inquiries follow-up. So you'll see we've got these different follow-ups and new inquiries. That's where all the new inquiries go. We'll click that, and it's going to open the event list, and it's going to show us all those new inquiries in order of date. So now what I can do is I can go and ring every single one of these people and follow up and see, hey, did you get my information? How'd you go with it? Do you have any questions, right? So we go to the first one on the list, we click View. That's going to now open up the event details of this event, so I can read more information and check out the details. So I can see, okay, this inquiry came in on the 24th of March, which is today. I can look down here, and we have a sales follow-up section. I can see all the notes. Right, so I can see that I already did try to call this person, and I left a voicemail. So every time I call someone, if I get the voicemail, I'm going to say, mobile rang out. Or if I speak to them, I'll say, I spoke to this lady, and she sounds really keen. Now, if you do speak to them, you're going to set a new follow-up date. You're going to say, okay, this lady said she needs to speak to the committee, and she'd like a follow-up next Wednesday. So then I'm going to set a follow-up date for next Wednesday. I'm going to change the follow-up filter because she's not a new inquiry anymore, because I've spoken to her. I'm going to set that to either a high priority or maybe an urgent priority lead. And I'm going to leave a note, spoke to this person, call back next Wednesday. What's going to happen is this event, which was in the make initial contact new inquiries, that's going to go from 8 down to 7. And then what's happened is next Wednesday, when that follow-up date shows up, that person's going to reappear on my list. And then each day, all I need to do is just go through each of these events, and that's my daily tasks done. once I've gone through all those events, I know I've followed up everyone that has inquired and done what I need to do to try and get as many sales as possible, right? So once you've done that, you've dealt with it, you've left some notes, then you click the next button up here, and we are going to continue down this list. So next customer, Brody, and I'm going to check when's the inquiry date come in. I'm going to check the event details and see what occasion it is, read the notes. Okay, called this person already, and then I'm going to give them a call and then follow it up. So if I follow up with a customer, and as we go along, we're leaving notes, we're changing follow-up dates, and we're clicking the next button as we're going down this list and just knocking out our follow-up calls one by one. Now this system is very efficient. It's going to help you stay on top of things, and you'll even find that some customers will be very impressed and say to you, oh my God, like no one else even followed up with me. I'm going to book it in. People are going to book you purely because you're the only one that followed up, or you said you were going to call back on Tuesday and you call back on Tuesday, because that shows professionalism and it shows that you are organized and you're on top of things. And that's what Event Master Pro EMP DJ is going to help you do, right? So that's what we do there. Now, let me quickly run over this screen this event details screen. So up the top here, we have, customer details. Then we have an event details block, these little kind of windows of information. We have an event checklist. Now, all these things on the checklist, these automatically tick themselves off over time as things happen. Like when their account is created, checks it off. Once you make a sale, it's going to set the sale date. When they complete the booking form / contract, it's going to let you know. So it kind of automatically checks all these things along the way. Over here we have some quote information. We can add travel fee or put a discount, and then we can also add payments as well when they come in. Down here we have this entire follow-up section where we have some information about where they heard from us and other questions that are asked on the inquiry form. We have a notepad area, and we have these notes here where we leave notes every time we talk to someone, or even if we send an email. When I send an email, I always paste a copy of the email here, so I've got it on record. Or if they send me an email, I first paste their email in here, then I respond to them, and then I paste my reply in here. And then over here we have extra equipment and services. We can break this up into groups, so it could be smoke machine or wireless microphone or subwoofer. You put all that information there, and when we add these, it's going to add to the quote. And finally, in the bottom right corner, we have performer staff / DJ, right? So this is where we would assign the DJs. We lock them on the event. When the DJ is locked, it's going to email them and let them know they've just been assigned to the event, and then they can go and log into the DJ login area and check out the job sheet. So the job sheet, let me show you that, right? So what happens is with every customer, we can make an event plan. So we click this event plan, and here we have a blank notepad area. It's kind of like a Word document that you're working on with the customer, right? So if I click here, there is like a template. I click music plan, and I've got a saved template that I have for my music plan with some questions about what kind of music they like, what's the age group, what do they want for background music, what do they want for dancing music, and you can create your own pet templates and just save them here, right? Now I'll give you an example. We can also save even something like a table, like a time schedule table, and then we can work out a custom time schedule for the client, and all that information here is going to end up on the job sheet. So let me show you what that looks like. If I update that and then click job sheet up the top here, it's going to open the job sheet into a new tab, and here we can see all the details of the job sheet and the music plan, and I can even download a PDF. So if I'm the DJ, I'd want to download this and put it on my phone or print it out, and then that's going to have all the music plan notes and information about the event. Obviously, stuff about payment information, that's all going to be hidden unless you want the DJ to collect cash. Then you can make a note here as well. So we come back to the event. That's the event plan information. So that's pretty much most of the important stuff there. Let me see what else we got. Now, if I go back to the event list, so you're going to go through all your events, and then that's going to help you, stay on top of things over time, and stay organized. And all these emails are being sent automatically as each of these things happen. So let's say I speak to someone and they would like to book the event. So what we're going to do is we need to change the event status to booked. So I'm going to go down here. We have event status. I changed that to tentative. Tentative means that it's booked. It's going to put it straight into your calendar, but it's going to send them an email with a link to the booking form contract where they can go and look over that, agree to your terms and conditions, pay a deposit, and submit that form, right? So once they pay a deposit, the app's going to automatically switch it from tentative to booked. And so those steps happen automatically, and each thing that happens is going to send these automatic emails. So when I move it to tentative, it automatically emails the booking form. When they make a payment, it automatically switches it to booked and sends them a link, an email to confirm that they've that the booking has been confirmed, right? So all of these email templates, there is actually a section in the settings to edit all of the templates, but most of the templates you can actually access over here on the checklist. You just hover the mouse near the relevant thing that happens and you'll be able to find the email. So like say the booking form received, we click that and then we can see now this template email where this is what I sent, the app sends to the people once they've confirmed their booking. So thanks for confirming your booking with us. We've secured your event with a $300 deposit on this date for your party coming up on this date. The balance is due on the Monday prior. You can customize these emails however you want, and each of these emails has all these different short codes that you can insert into the email to customize them how you want it. So for me, I'm telling them what are the next steps to go and start planning their music. So I can tell them to come back in here and answer the questions, or maybe make a Spotify playlist and paste that link over here. Whatever your process for music planning, that's what you're going to put in this email. So essentially all these emails, you can edit every single one of the templates, and all of this has been set up for you already. So you don't have to spend hours and hours trying to work out when to send what email. I've got templates pre-written that you just need to tweak and customize for your business. So that is all of that. Now that goes right through to the end. Even after the event, the app will automatically switch the event from booked to done and send them an email with a link to the feedback form. So that is, let me see, it might be maybe here. No, that's not the one. So there is another template in the settings which sends them a link to go and fill in the feedback form, and the app will even ask them for a review, and if they are happy, so it's going to ask them to give you a rating out of 10. If they give you a minimum, for example 8 out of 10, then it will ask them for a Google or Facebook review. But if they give you a 5 out of 10, then the app will not ask them for a review. So there's actually a way to set that up. If we look over up the top, we've got forms, and then we go to feedback and review settings, and that's where we can tweak those settings for the after event follow-up. So you can see the whole process from start to finish. Can automate, systemize, and automate your business simply by using EMP. And it's also going to keep everything organized in one place where you can actually get statistical information. You can export a CSV through a mailing list. You can do a whole lot more. So yeah, that's what EMP can do for you. So I highly encourage you to go and click get started, book in a time with me, because then we can go over things more personally and find out exactly what you need to know for your business, and then you can answer me specific questions which I can answer you straight away. So yeah, when you're ready, click get started, book in that time, and then after you've booked in a time with me, immediately you'll be able to go and set up your 14-day free trial. So check that out. Now if you're on the in the app, you can actually click down here, or even on the front end of the website there is a live chat. You can put your questions in there. It's going to send me a message to my email or my phone, and I'll be able to answer those questions for you. So I hope you found that really useful, and I hope to also meet you and see you soon. Thanks for your time.